Hold on. All right, we're back.
Hey guys. So if you're just joining us, this is the FinalStop roleplay community meeting as of October 13th, 2024. Blake and Cam are going to be mostly leading this. So we're going to be
I didn't do
listening along.
anything. Looks like 50 is the max. Too many of y'all in here.
And whatnot. So, but we're going to get
All
started
right, we got
here
a couple
soon.
people who are streaming it on Twitch. Oh, hold on. Yeah, we could do that. Hold on, I could set up a stage for it.
That's what I said. Sorry.
A very great PowerPoint. Oh, I got some fucking sick transitions. Actually, yeah, that's what we'll do. So, Shannon, disconnect and then reconnect. and then you can share your screen while watching the PowerPoint. That's what we'll do. Fuck you, Cozy, piece of shit. All right. There we go. We've now moved to a stage. All right, guys. So we'll go ahead and head over. Over the last couple of weeks, we've put out some topics. First in the emergency services Discord, and the other one in a support ticket with a lot of gang members and gang leaders. I've kind of compiled all of everybody's complaints that everybody has. And we got the common stuff between both major parties of the roleplay. So I got a lot of the cops complaints, I got a lot of the criminal complaints. I kind of mixed those together, and now we have a common list between both parties that we're going to be moving into more of a priority to fixing them two things. We got a lot of good stuff, and we're making a lot of progress, and we'll kind of go over a lot of that here. Some of the biggest ones is about our rules being a little bit too vague for people. People are scared to kind of do certain actions because they feel like they're going to get in trouble. This was a major complaint. And just going off of the rules, we've done this in the beginning of the server. We haven't done it recently. So we're going to make this a little bit more known that you guys can do this. If you guys have a suggestion about a rule that you guys want to change or want to add, put in a support ticket. The administration, the owners, and the management team will look at your suggestion, and then we'll take it back amongst ourselves and kind of vote on it. If the vote comes to where it's a little bit too close for us to call, we will open that vote up to the entire server. So you guys, if you guys see a rule or something that you guys want changed, let us know. And we'll be happy to make changes within the rules. Oh, what the fuck? Wrong way. So here were some of the biggest ones. From cops complaining on the criminals. Cops have been given less than great role play. Tell a story. This is supposed to be fucking criminals. We want to see you guys on the criminal side to really just tell stories, to really role play, really put some things into an actual storyline. Getting together and just saying, you know, oh, let's go shoot cops, let's go rob a bank. Things like that is not exactly of what we're wanting to see, and it's not what the cops are wanting to see. The cops are wanting to interact more with people who are actually putting out a storyline, and not just flying down the road at 100 miles an hour, and then when a cop tries to pull them over, you shoot them. A kill box, that shouldn't be your escape plan if you're doing a heist. That it's really demoralizing for the police, just to be gunned down and loot boxed from traffic stops, from a chase that started over a speeding. And these are the reasons of why the cops aren't really waking up, and why we're having an issue on the police side of the population. They're just demoralized, and this is all of our responsibility to make sure that everybody wants to wake up into the server. The cops. So these are few of the common complaints that the criminals had about you guys. There's cops that are taking things straight from 0 to 100, just immediately, just go straight to being antagonistic, and they're not allowing the criminals to actually role play some of their scenes out. Be lenient. Look the other way. Sometimes you don't have to arrest every single person you see that's breaking the law. Every time you see a somebody doing something wrong, you don't have to arrest them. Let that story play out. Let that scene play out, before you go in and you start pointing guns and tasers and telling people to give up and stuff like that. That's what we want to see a little bit more of, from the cop side of it. Remember, the police, you're playing a character who is a police officer. You're not a police officer. Your character is not you. It needs to be separated. It feels like that sometimes, that on a lot of sides, both sides of the cop and the criminal side, that people are taking things way, way, way too serious about what happens to their character. If something happens to your character, it's not always personal. When somebody starts calling you a name, and being aggressive and stuff like that, and this is on both sides. We see this a lot. It's not personal all the time. Remember that whatever's happening to your character is not happening towards you. So we need to have some separation there, with your character and out of character a little bit more. This is kind of one of our biggest things. So Hugo, what I'm saying is that you're playing a role play character who is a police officer. You're not playing a cop simulator. It's not personal. Some of the other biggest things is the penal code. The penal code is being entirely reorganized. We're getting rid of the murder charge with an attempted modifier. So if you shoot at a cop or you shoot at somebody, you're not going to get a HUD anymore. That's all gone. I believe that this is finished or very, very close to being finished. Cam was working on this over the last probably 24 hours, sitting down and reworking all of this stuff. So on the police side, you guys are going to have a pretty big shift in how your penal code is going to work. So make sure we look through that. Criminal side, if you feel like that you have been getting a little bit too harsh, I know that shooting at a cop or something like that and getting an attempted murder and getting put on a HUD, that's probably not very fun. So that's gone. We listened to that. We changed that. Everything is kind of being reworked. I went over the rules being vague. I went over the lack of role play. We need to have more role play, and less of everything just kind of being personal. All right, so now we're going to get into a little bit more of development. I'll open up the floor in a minute for some of the devs to speak on this. Some of the stuff is going to be launching tonight. Some of this is going to be launching throughout the week, and being fixed throughout the week, and I'll go over that as well. The evidence system, it's right there at the very end of being ready. I'll let Neeb speak on that in just a minute. Weed growing is now in the server. It will be in when the server launches. You guys can go and find and plant and grow your weed. Selling drugs with a new drug sales script. The new drug sales is not in. We're still going to be using the old one. A lot of the bugs that have been complained about have been fixed. We will be moving over to a new drug sales script here very soon, sometime throughout this week. And then we'll have patch notes and stuff like that going in before we move this to live. The new MDT, it's not new. A lot of you guys will probably know this MDT. The old MDT had a lot of kind of bugs and scuff, and sometimes you would get frozen in it. It wouldn't work completely in most aspects. It was a really cool MDT. It was a really nice MDT. It was something that we decided on that MDT very, very early in development stages of the server. We really liked it, but once we actually have a population in that is using it, it ended up being just too much. And it is escrowed, so there wasn't a lot we could do with it. This one is open source, so it's going to be a lot easier to go back through it, create things, fix things, stuff like that. So it's just, everything's going to be a lot smoother and easier. You guys may notice some bugs here at launch. Once more people get into it, reporting those to the devs so they can fix them, because this stuff can be worked on a lot easier with this MDT. The divination cards are now live. I'm not going to go into that too much. This is something that would be completely in character that you guys will have to figure out. This is something that is not locked on to crims. Civilians and stuff like that can also have a use for this stuff. So this is a pretty cool feature that we're going to be putting in. This is completely custom. This is one of our first actual custom gang script or criminal scripts that is going to be launching. Again, if you guys run into any bugs on this, please report them. Tiki is the one who built this script, so props out to him, and he can work on these as we go if you guys run into any bugs like that. So this is a very, very short roadmap that we have. Roadmaps are a little hard, and we do not want to get, we want to get out of the habit of telling you guys that things are going to be released. We don't want to do this anymore. Because it kind of bites us in the foot with development whenever we say that something is going to be launching at this time, and then a lot of things come up. Two of our devs who have been building a lot of our custom scripts, both of them are sick right now. So I have been very unfair to them by pushing them. And we don't want to get into that habit. So this is a very rough, some of the stuff will be coming a lot sooner than other. So the next two things that are going to be launching into the server is going to be our house robbery and housing script. Housing could be launched a little bit earlier, but the issue with housing is that it integrates with a lot of stuff. Housing integrates with the MDT and garages and all kinds of stuff, and there's a lot of work. And also the biggest thing that it integrates with is going to be house robberies. House robberies is going to be custom. House robbery is being worked on currently. It is the next project that is going to be put into the server. I do not have an exact date of when this will be put in. So after I spoke with the Tiki about this, we're looking at sometime in the next 30 days or so is when we're hoping to get that in. So sometime, maybe this month, maybe next month, but that's when we're working in. We do have somebody who is now going over our clothing. They are redoing all of our clothing right now from the ground up. So in a few weeks, we'll have some new clothing coming in. A lot of things are going to be changing in the clothing script. So that's all going to be kind of very fresh for us. So we're excited for all the new clothing. Custom gang script. that is the next project that is also being worked on. I was a little bit premature last month. We didn't realize really how much work we all had on our current plates. So custom game script is now going to be worked on. From one of the devs, this will be his next push into the server. So this will all be coming out sometime in Q4 of this year. Custom store robberies and ATMs and skimmers, and AC scrapping. These are going to be some miscellaneous small crimes that will be coming out. All of this stuff will be pushed out as well in Q4. If you've played in a very old server with me, some of the stuff will look very familiar. And you've kind of seen this stuff before. So we're hoping to get this stuff back in and get it launched. And it's some really fun, small stuff that we want to get in. And then in Q1 of 2025, we're going to be looking into some actual new large heist, warehouse robbery, ammunition robbery. We're going to look at rewriting and doing a lot of custom scripts. We're going to go back to our bank and Vangelicos and things like that, and we're going to start again from the ground up and kind of start to rewriting everything. All right, and then check out this sick transition. Look at that. Look at that shit. I like that shit. All right, now I'm gonna go into answering some questions that everybody put in. Neebs and Toby, can y'all unmute?
Yep.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
If you guys want to go back and forth or back on any of the topics and talk on them from y'all's standpoints, feel free.
I'll touch lightly on the MDT. So for the police in here, medical, DOJ, stuff like that, this really doesn't pertain to criminal, unfortunately. Maybe one day there'll be a way for civilians to access the MDT in a way that is locked down, so you can see your profile, see what charges have happened, so on and so forth. But we're moving away from DRX MDT just because it's causing a load of issues. It's great MDT, it's awesome, but it just sucks. Is my mic peaking for anyone else?
You're good.
Okay, I just got a DM from Jazzy. Okay, everyone's saying I'm good, so I'm assuming it's just Jazzy. So we've moved away from DRX. We're going to a heavily modified PS MDT that I've been working on for 3 weeks. It looks very nice. Some things, there's like one big thing that doesn't work that I'm still trying to fix, and that's tags on arrest reports. But hopefully it'll be fixed soon because it's not that big of a thing, so I didn't have time to fix it before this. Starting on the medical side, medical will have their own MDT separate from the police. It'll look completely different. They will have patient records that they can input into for Saha, and then they'll have patient care reports, which will be for Safer. So they have two separate areas because that's something they've been asking for a while, and it'll just help clean up their MDT. DOJ, they'll see the exact same thing police do, except their MDT will just look different. Police, they're basically getting a whole new MDT. I've spent quite a few hours working on it. It looks, like I said, it looks very nice. I know I'm repeating myself. Wait, DOJ had an MDT? Yes. Is this for all DOJ or just prosecutors? It is for the, I'm trying to think of the word, executive branch. Basically not anyone that's not a private lawyer. Police side, the MDT is fully integrated with all of our other scripts, so if you click jail in the MDT, you're fine in the MDT. It handles all that for you. If you impound a car, it'll highlight that the vehicle is impounded on the MDT. if you put a bolo out on a vehicle, it will register on your radar and alert you like, hey, that motherfucker got a warrant. Well, the owner of the car has a warrant. I went through great lengths to make sure that it doesn't catch the driver, which it was doing before. So our MDT is less powerful. And other than that, I have nothing else to add on the MDT except I finally renamed plate carriers. They're no longer plate-er carriers. Plate carriers.
Okay. I'll go over a few things with evidence. So, bear with me. I am sick, so I sound like shit. I know. So evidence is gonna, come in with some things that cops have really needed for a while since we've taken out the last evidence script. Frisking, check if there's weapons on you, fingerprint, GSR. And then the crime lab. So that's the real big things that are coming with the evidence script. So when you're gonna have to start thinking when you do crimes of the evidence that you leave behind. That's gonna help, I guess, both sides. Ratchet, good question. Fingerprints work through gloves. No, I have a glove check in place, but there is ways that randomness to it where you can sometimes rip a glove or do stuff like that. So, I don't want it to be so overpowered that, I always have to wear gloves, so stuff like that. And yes, there will be cleanup items and actions to evidence, Lexi. So, I mean, evidence, it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple, scripted in a way, it's just a lot of work to actually get it set up. Bullets on the ground showing up when you shoot, bullet trajectories from where your bullets actually hit. It's gonna give a lot of work to the SACL, so the crime lab people, the cops. Then Blake, can you go back to the roadmap for me on your thingy so I can look at it and remind myself? Oh, look at that! Look at that transition, guys.
It's pretty
black.
sick.
So this list here is what we have talked to Blake about, of what we are working on or what he has asked us to work on. So with the custom gag script, I know about 2 months ago I put out feelers for what we'd like to see in that in a loud list chat and stuff like that. I'm going to be putting out another. Actually, we have a way to actually communicate right now with gang, so I'm going to be in the next few weeks talking to you guys, getting ideas for what I have an idea of what I want to do, but I want to get more ideas from you guys to get some input on what you guys would like. So bear with me with the gang script. I'm working as fast as I can and stuff like that. And then as well as after the gang script, I plan on working on some the heist and stuff like that. So we're a very small team, so we're working as fast as we can, guys. Just give us some time. I know it might not be as fast as you guys would like, but there's only 5 of us. We're working as hard as we can here.
Good.
I'll answer a question from Ryan Tank. Perf Wars. Like I said, nothing is actually set in stone with the gang script, so I can't answer questions on the gang script. I don't know yet.
So to touch on the Neep saying it takes us time, it really does. We're not like other servers where in the beginning we did release 1 or 2 broken scripts and then immediately had to remove them, and then when we swapped to Q-Box we had to remove house robberies. But we're not like other servers. We want all of our custom scripts to be completely feature finished before we release them, because if we release, say, a crime update and half of it's broken, you guys are going to be upset. So it may take us longer to release things to other servers, but they'll be more feature ready when they do get.
Yeah, the pricing for the weed growing, I mean, we really don't know yet. We're gonna have it set at a point to where it looks good on paper, But until you guys get in and start actually selling the stuff, that's when economy changes will happen. If it needs to be raised or lowered, the economy is constantly under. It's constantly being looked at and it's constantly being adjusted. It's never perfect. So we'll do our best to have the pricing for selling weed and stuff like that and selling drugs to a part where it's worth the risk versus the reward.
Also, I forgot to bring this up whenever I was talking about FT changes. Fire department. Soon TM, you will be getting an automatic fire script. And a lot of goodies that come with that is actually optimized and will stay in this time. So fire department will be able to put out fires and stuff like that. Also, if you're a business owner, DM me because I can set up your business to randomly catch fire.
Blake, do we want to move on to some of the questions in the meeting questions area?
Yeah, I responded to a couple of them in text while you guys were chatting. Ashford, the dealerships is something that I'm currently looking at. No, I'm not currently looking at the FAA. That is not launching tonight. But getting luxury opened and getting 18-wheeler dealership up and running is something that you guys should be seeing here pretty soon. It's something that I am actually actively working on the back end and stuff. So you guys will have an update from that here pretty soon on when them two are going to get going. FAA is something that we really haven't talked about on the back end on exactly how we're going to regulate it and stuff like that. It is something that we want. We do want to add in the FAA, but when we add something in like that, we want to add some more things. So, nothing's in stone yet, but like just off the top of my head, if I add an FAA, I also want to add in KO Perico, something to fly to and people can charter and stuff like that. So all that stuff is going to take a lot of development time. And right now where we're at, it's not a priority yet. Once we get the server into a more stable point that we like, then we'll start doing something like adding in KO and FAA and chartering and all that kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Joe, you're asking about when BBB apps are going to open back up. So Cam and Christina have basically done all of the BBB themselves. That is their project that they have been working on. As of right now, they have just now finished adding in everything from the last round. I think there's still 2 businesses that they're actively working on. Cam and Christina have expressed that they do want a break. So they're going to take about a month or so once they get finished, and then they're going to open up the apps again because that is their project. That is what they're working on, and they have been nonstop doing BBB things, putting in MLOs, setting up scripts for restaurants and things like that. So we want to give them a break. So the timeline and stuff like that, it may be a month, it may be 2 months. We're not sure. That'll be something that Cam and Christina will let you guys know once they get everything back going. But don't expect BBB to open up at least within the next month or 2. Oh shit. Just doxed her.
Oof.
My bad.
Dude just doxed mom.
Yeah.
Custom tattoos will come with the clothing update.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna make a push and attempt for custom tattoos with this round as well. It may or may not work. It may or may not be in with the very first push of clothing, which will be in a couple weeks to next month. Gang clothing for gangs that have already approved apps. Your clothing will also be put in there if you have given clothing to staff to have put in. For civs, I'm not going to add anything new right away. I have a pre-built pack that I'm getting from a friend that they have donated to our server. That'll go in first, and then anything that people want added after that will then be added.
Blake, we do have questions being asked in the community meeting chat. We've had multiple questions about when our gang app is going to be looked at.
So with I have the gang apps. The only issue with them now is now they're outdated. So we're gonna launch that again here. Once this, so the gang script is something that Neebs is building. This will be his custom script. Once he gets his evidence done, we're gonna start working on the gang script. As we get into this, we'll probably open up the applications again, or I'll go back through the old ones and see who's still playing and stuff like that. And we'll probably just kind of resubmit this and start over with it. I know a few of you people like 762 and fucking JT, his gang, stuff like that, are still active and going. But some of them are no longer here, and I don't want to throw a gang in a ticket and start talking to them about development stuff and they're not even playing anymore. So we may end up redoing those. As far as the timeline, I'm not 100% sure. It could be sometime in the next couple. It'll probably be in the next couple of weeks when we'll open that back up again.
Ratchet, to speak on trailers, mounting vehicles on other vehicles, I've been making my own script for that. Basically just pertaining to four-wheelers, motorcycles, bicycles, stuff like that. Putting them in the beds of trucks. I haven't fully feature rated out, but it's coming along nicely. But yeah, that is something that is.
So I'll answer a question from the meeting questions from Dr. Sanders here. It's about the working casino. So the casino is a love and hate thing of mine as a dev and a lot of communities, because if it's not done right, as a lot of us who have been with me or servers that we've been a part of, that it can be either super inflationary to the economy or completely dream. Which the honest, for a casino, well, casinos make money. Their goal is to make money, so it's a real big balancing game. Yeah, okay, Samora, we know you like the casino there, but it's going to be hard to actually what's the word I'm looking for? Balance that in a way that's good and doesn't fuck the economy. And for one, making cool scripts. I don't want to put in a casino that just has like, oh hey, here's blackjack and here's roulette. Like that's what every casino does. So it would take time to create poker, could call up Blake Owens, or slots. That takes time. Sanders, I'm a blackjack player myself. I love blackjack, but we need things that people can do that are different, and it's a whole concept update in itself. And so, yes, we would love to see a casino. I would not put it on a roadmap just yet.
There we go. A couple of people have asked about staff applications and dev applications opening up. to be honest, as far as administration and management and support goes, we're not really looking to bring anybody on at this moment. The workload just isn't there. The people that we have are great and they're here, and they handled their tickets and stuff like that. And so the workload just isn't there to bring in anybody on anymore right now. As far as development goes, if development is something that you want to come into, the only thing I can tell you right now is open up a ticket, express that you want to become a developer, and then we'll add in the people who you'll need to talk with, and that'll kind of be something that they'll go into.
Okay, so
Kind of rib, there is and there isn't. We do have management. Our management is split up with the emergency services and with criminal stuff. It just kind of depends. On paper, yes, but realistically, when a report ticket comes in, I'm confident in the people I have in place. So if anybody is available to look into that ticket, then that's who will look into it at the time.
it adding more from a dev perspective. Right? We all have our specializations, things we like working on. So you will see similar devs usually on your criminal projects or your cop projects, or even we might all work together. But we do have people who like to specialize in each side of the spectrum. So we have people who play crim, who are devs, which kind of goes into a point that we had, I guess, in a meeting question there. Blake was let me find it. I know I sent it somewhere. So it's from Bobby here, staff doing crime. You know, it states staff of late have been doing EMS and cop characters. Take a step away from those characters for a week and do crime for a week and see how hard the grind it is for civilian and criminal, as well as see how the interactions cop can be changed rather than just see it from one side of perspective. I will say that as a dev, I have played from the server since I started. I have a cop, but I think I've spent just as much, if not more, time on my criminal, staying away from, of course, the big gangs and stuff like that, and just doing the small, little criminal stuff that we can do. I will say we do have staff members that are playing civilians and criminals that do a lot of those things. I know, for example, Cam and them always were doing different Law of the Civ things when the server first came out. So I would say you might not see us playing those characters. You might not even know it's us, but we are playing criminals and civilians more than you guys actually do see.
Yeah, we already just shifted our framework once. Shifting our framework is not something that we will be doing anytime soon. If we shift our framework again, it would be to a custom framework. We're not going to shift to another pre-made framework.
So to touch on the optimization thing, we are actively looking into it. We're slowly moving away from every script that we don't make ourselves or that we don't trust. It will take some time, but in regards to player performance, it's heavily based on your own computer, and unfortunately with how old GTA 5 is and how, I say quote-unquote good CPUs are getting now, you're actually getting better multi-clock speed, but worse single clock speed. The worse your single clock speed is, the worse your frames in GTA is going to be. There are ways around that. I'm not going to go into it because it requires you overclocking a single core or things like that. There's ways you can look it up to improve your performance. but it's just unfortunately a side effect of just how old Rage Engine is. Does downloading more RAM fix the issue? Yes. Also depends on graphic settings. Yes, it does technically depend on graphic settings, because the higher graphic settings you are, the more the game relies on your GPU and the less it relies on your CPU, which can also lower your performance because, yes, RAM speeds on GPUs are getting faster, but once again, the clock speeds for single clock on GPUs are also getting slower. So there's like a nice medium point in settings where between low and high that you really want to get to have the best performance in GTA. Yes. Right, if you have a Ryzen AM3 or AM4 CPU, you're probably going to have better performance than someone with Intel, because Ryzen has better single clock speed.
Sorry, Anita, if you can put that in again, I'll get you. I missed you.
What do you guys do on Crim? Do you enjoy the state of Crim as is? I personally don't play Crim as much. I have a few criminals, but I don't do big crime. It's more of a civilian, and I just haven't had time to play in the server because I've been too busy deving. Same thing for most of our team. Unfortunately, we've just been very, very busy that we haven't had a chance to play on the server.
Yeah, as far as the criminal standpoint and what all is in the criminal stuff, we understand that things need to be fixed and added, and that's, you know, what the whole purpose of all of this is. That's, you know, 80% of our entire development time is going into criminal stuff right now. That's our main focus. The reason why evidence is being the first one out, because when it got started working on 3 months ago, 2 months ago, that's just it, the criminal stuff wasn't a problem then. The server was still fresh, and you know, everybody was good with what they had. But now we understand that there is an issue, and that's the development has now shifted to criminal. So we understand that stuff needs to be worked on, and it is. It takes time. You know, it takes time to build stuff, and then as you know, as far as we're not here all the time, you know, a lot of us are working full time. And then also, we don't want to stare at code the only 4 or 5 hours a day we get at home. So it is all being worked on, and it is a priority. It's just not going to happen here in, you know, the next day or two, you know.
So Blake, from the meeting questions, because this is not one, and I've seen it come up a couple of times. Will mining for materials such as ores be introduced, or will be there jobs where you can get materials that you could take to like the mechanics that then you could trade for pricing instead of paying the cost?
I can speak on this one because this is something I was working on a while ago. Yes. So with our current script for mining, there is a way for me to make it output items, which I do plan on doing. And whenever we get our crafting update from one of our other devs who's working on a full crafting menu, things like that, crafting will be a thing. We're just waiting for that development to finish before it gets released.
For Rib, I just put your question about businesses and tag that in the community meeting for her to respond in text, as she's not able to be in the VC and speak on that. Sorry, just so we can push this along, because I know we're getting close on time.
To quickly touch on Xavier, I don't know about the rules, but gameplay-wise and script-wise, the boosting script doesn't care if you have 1, 2, 3, or 4 people. It's just a flat rate increase for XP. So if you have three people, you're going to get the same amount of XP that you would have gotten with 4 people, that you would have gotten with 1 person, that you would have gotten with 2 people. It's just a flat rate that increases it to make sure everybody gets the same amount of XP.
Having peds, going back to pet characters, we had it in the beginning. So if you got to create a pet in the beginning, then you'll still have it. It was taking out kind of I say recently, but it was taken out shortly after that because we have people running around as monkeys and as fucking dogs and all kinds of stuff. So it's on my list of things I found where I needed it to be to get all that stuff out. I just haven't really sat down and done it yet, but it is on my list. Yes, Angelo, the penal code has been rewritten.
The next 2 meeting questions are mostly about cop interactions and polices. I think we touched on that at the beginning. The first one's just kind of the third party in situations, and then chase in regards to chases. You have to remember too, guys, so talking about pitting vehicles and ramming vehicles, sometimes this happens just because of a bubble. So it's not that the cops are out there pitting you like instantly. There might be just a connection issue where, you got bubbled. So just remember that not everyone is also sitting right next to you playing on the same connection. There's some people based in the US, some people based in EU, so bubbles are a thing as well. You touched on staff doing crime.
Bobby, you're asking about the payouts. I have a shit. Damn, I'm forgetting what it's called. I have a change staged in my dev server where I've changed all the pricing. I've significantly increased bank payouts and stuff like that. So the bank payouts, crime payouts and stuff like that is all being looked at. I understand right now that the most liable thing in the city to do to make money is like oil rig and stuff like that. I have a ticket open on economy with a couple of the civ jobs like lumberjack that pays pennies, stuff like that's being looked at. So I'm going to have some economy changes coming out here in the next day or so. That isn't a part of the stuff that's being launched tonight. And Bobby, not every gang. I'll add the gangs that I know that are still active and playing. I'll add them into a ticket, and you guys wouldn't have to redo your application. It's the gangs that I'm not sure of that would end up having to redo their application, and they'll be alerted to that.
A lot of people you've been posting about the biggest one of the questions was changelog. Like we started posting changelog when things were happening. Is that something that'll be coming back so that way people can see kind of things that have changed throughout?
I answered that one actually in
Okay,
the actual. Yeah.
Thank you, Neebs.
I'll answer a question from Ivan. It just popped up. Bail bonds. So bail bonding, will bonding out for extended charges ever be a thing? So I will say that this is just from a DOJ standpoint, as somebody who's been. I'm not a member of the DOJ currently, but Blake, I believe, is. But we are in RP, and we can. If it's never been tried in RP, I would say we let it go IC and try to create it IC. Instead of needing a system for it, it's a pretty simple system. You just have them sign a document stating they're on bail bonds and have lawyers start pushing that and ask for those specific court cases to actually have that happen. Mr. Owens, I understand we don't have lawyers. That would be something that you could talk to the DOJ about eventually, or the DOJ can work on that. But I'm saying as a whole that it's possible already. You just somebody has to do it, and I don't think anybody's doing it.
If you feel like cops are like pitting you a little bit too much and it's getting kind of RDM, the only thing I can say is just you need to open up a ticket on it. There is a difference between a pit and there's a difference between RDM. Those are two different things. So if you feel like that line is being crossed, then the only thing I could suggest is you putting in a ticket.
SASP is player ran. If you guys don't put in IC complaints, and you don't even have to have the officer's name, you can just include the situation. SASP has a lot of tools to figure out what officers were on which scenes. And if you feel as if something was a rule break that a cop did, report it. Staff don't run SASP. Players run SASP. So we need you guys to report these things to SASP command, and then they can deal with it ICly if that needs to happen. And if it's a rule break, you need to report it to the staff team so staff can handle it from a staff side.
Yeah, Reagan just posted that he checks the complaint form every day, and he does. So. A lot of people, you guys are asking also about the gang rule. I don't know if one of you guys want to touch that, the number rule.
That's a you thing, Blinky.
What am I looking at?
A lot of people have been asking about the number rule for PvP.
I'm let Carter speak on it. I'm not 100% sure. I know we just did some rule changes the other day that are coming out. We decided on some stuff, but I have the brain of like a fucking hamster.
You're good. She just posted here a second ago. So right now, until your gang is whitelisted, it is still gonna be 4v4, and then after that, we will give you guys, once you're an official gang, then that'll be updated. The new rules and everything will be getting posted after the meeting, so that way it'll be updated for you guys to see. You did.
No, so the civilians aren't being forgotten about. I did see a couple questions in there about civilian things to do. Make a suggestion on it. If you guys have something or a script or something like that you would like to see, or an idea for civilian use. I've seen paintball. I've seen go-kart racing. I've seen arcades. All that kinds of stuff. It's all possible. Throw in a suggestion, talk with staff about it, and we'll see what we can put in. You also can do your once BBB opens up here in a couple of months. You can also open up a business on that stuff for it as well.
Tuning and additional car modifications. I'll leave that one. Unless any of you guys have anything on that.
But my side cam's been handling he's been handling the mechanic stuff.
Okay. Alexis, your question had been answered, but you were asking about drug prices. Blake had responded, yes, they've been adjusted and will be adjusted more as we go. You talked about job payouts.
Anita, I'll go ahead and answer a question about RP hooks from Landry. So RP hooks and economy. So I see a lot of economy questions being brought up here, and I think it's great that people are definitely coming in and giving their opinions on the economy. Something that I think that's came into my mind just from seeing all this is in the past I've used a system that basically it runs that job in the code 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 times on my computer, and gives me a median price, a high price, a low price, gives me all of the numbers created, and we have not done that yet within our script. So I think give us some time to actually look at that and do those kind of tests. That could definitely help us. And then we'll create spreadsheets on how everything economy wise is going with that stuff. So just give us some time. I'll look into that when we're working on the criminal, and then also apply that to the civilian side of it. And then on the other question that's in that same thing, it was let me pull it back up here. Sorry guys. RP hooks. First question is regarding staff. I understand that there's staff for management, but what about storytelling staff? Having stories go through or have players to follow. For an example, the courts program have staff that is willing to DM events for players, have more events going through and promoting to create stories. So a lot of people who actually have role played, for example, with me in the past, know that I was what quote unquote considered the game master. So I helped push along criminal stuff, and I think the management team could definitely possibly go in something that direction. I think the only way we're going to know that you guys want that, or you need somebody to help DM events and stuff like that, is open up a ticket and ask the staff team. You need XYZ for an event that you want to hold. You need whatever you need. That's our job. We're here to help you. So open up a ticket and we can help you. I know we have some Mickey in here is literally an events guy. That's what he does for a living, and I know he's really good at that. He opens up a ticket and asks what he needs, and if enough time is given, we can definitely help with that. But we don't know you want it until you open up a ticket and ask us. So always open up a ticket and ask us.
Yeah, I know Gavin was doing some kind of role play with some people. Unfortunately, his computer did not want to cooperate. It didn't like the role play, I guess, and his computer exploded. So tag staff in it if you're at a standstill and you need help going, and we'll see what we can do. If you guys need help from staff for a story or for your role play, open a support ticket. We're happy to help you guys kind of push your stories a little further if that's what you're needing from us.
A lot of questions have been about towing. Is there an update to towing?
Cam and Carter have been doing the towing. I'm not 100% sure on what's going on with it. I know we have a towing script. I'm just not exactly sure of what their status is on it. But I'll have one of them give you guys an update on what's going on with towing.
Pocket forensics. If you want to, if you can type in that meeting questions, if you're allowed to post in there, then just post in there. Or unless if you. A question came up too, is PD looking at doing any more active recruiting, or is it full currently right now?
Say that again?
Is PD looking at doing any recruitment, or is it currently full?
PD just closed. They just did a massive hiring. They still have a lot of cadets they got to train. I wouldn't imagine that they're going to be opening up here in the next couple of days. Definitely, they're probably going to need some time before they open up. So I wouldn't expect their apps to open up in the next week or two at least. I'm not 100% sure on what their time frame is, but yeah, they're definitely closed as of this moment.
Yeah, as Rib said, there was quite a few cops on last night. It was a difficult night to do any crime, so if you were around. The other thing I will touch on that just real quick is Also understand that if cops sometimes are not always going to be available 24/7, 97. I don't know why 97 came in my head. Because they might be at a different scene providing RP for somebody else. Please just be patient. You're going to get your chance to RP with the cops. You're going to get your chance to RP with other people. It's just that, they might be involved in something else, or if they do have to pull off a chase, it just means that there's a higher priority call that's taking place somewhere else in the city. So understand that it's not that they're rejecting that your RP, it's that, they have a call log that they're supposed to go off of what's higher priority. So Ellie, with the question with your EU cops, the difficulty sometimes with the EU cops is we just might not have any EU trainers available currently. I'm not sure. I'm not a cop, so there is that. Remind cops to clock in when they go on duty.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. We're 5 minutes past. Gonna get down there so we can get the server back going. I know Cam and Tiki stayed behind so they could get everything going. So we're gonna go ahead and end this. You guys will get a message in the server status once the server comes back online. It should be back up here very shortly. I'm just not sure what their status is. So we're gonna go ahead and end the meeting. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to make another post and the meeting questions. I'll answer these throughout the night, but I'll close them after tonight. So if you guys got any more questions, make a thread in that meeting questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. But I'm gonna close them here in a few hours. So
if you had friends that were not able to make the meeting, I will be posting the YouTube link for the meeting as I was streaming it, recording it for you guys. So that'll be posted if you want to go back and listen to it as well. Yeah, and Rib has one as well. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Have a fantastic time, and I will post this here shortly. Bye.